Hello and welcome back to the Voices of a Vic, the podcast dedicated to all things Watford FC. It's great to have you with us as we look ahead to a brand new 25-26 championship season. I'm Ben, and joining me tonight on tonight's episode is Cameron, Joe, who's joining us in a couple of minutes' time, Mike, as we dive into our predictions for the upcoming campaign. But before we get stuck in, let's see how everyone's doing. Cam, I'll come to you first. You all good, mate?
Yeah, I'm doing pretty good. I'm excited for the coming season. I've spent most of my day looking at hotels and trains and stuff for Swansea because we've been shafted with the kickoff time there. So I'm really getting into the football feeling, and no better way to sort of capitalize on that than to do this predictions pod, which every year it's always a good laugh. It's always fun, and we'll get to look back on it after someone predicts, let's say, Wrexham to win the league. I'm looking right at the screen here. Is probably going to come out with something outlandish like that. And yeah, really looking forward to this one. But how are you doing, Ben?
Yeah, no, I'm very good, thank you. For everyone who's watching on YouTube, Joe's just turned up. I've added him in, but his microphone wasn't really. It was doubling up on what Cam was saying, so I've just taken him back out. So hopefully he can maybe try and sort out the sound issues that we've got going on there. But yeah, I'm all good, thank you, mate. Mike, how are you, mate? It's good to have you on.
Yeah, no, it's good to be on. Like Cam said, the predictions podcast is one that I've always enjoyed throughout the 5 years that we've been doing this. So it'd be good to make some outlandish claims, as you say. And yeah, I've no idea what everyone else has picked as well. So I'm sure there'll be some funny ones to look back on.
No, 100%. Just going to try and add Joe back in now. There is a massive echo whenever I add him into it, so hopefully it's not too bad. Joe, how are you doing, mate? You all good?
Joe, how are you doing? Is that all right?
No, that's horrendous. You sound like you're under the sea. We'll let Joe come back. We'll bring him back in a minute. But yeah, there's nothing like technical difficulties with the voice of a Vic. But yeah, I hope everyone who's watching from home or listening is all well as well and ready for what we hope for to be an exciting season, or at least slightly less stressful one. Tonight we'll be covering all things from where we think the Hornets will finish, to top goal scorers, breakout stars, red cards, sackings, and even a cheeky cup run prediction. So stick around, share your predictions with us after the episode, and let's see who's got that crystal ball and who ends up looking very silly come the end of a season. I think me, Mike, and Cam are all guilty of having at least one prediction that's made us look very silly in the last two seasons. I imagine we're going to be up there again this season. But we'll jump straight into it. First one. So we've gone bigger or better this year in the Voice of the Vic. We tend to stick around 5-6 predictions. We thought, sod it, let's do 12. So I've put in some new ones for this year, slightly different. So first one is the bog standard one what we do every season, final league position. Cam, I'll come to you on this one. Are you expecting a successful season for the Hornets?
Relatively, yeah, I think so. I went on, I had a chat with Gab Sutton a couple of weeks ago. I went on there and I predicted that we'd finish 6th. Let's see if this echoes again. That sounds better. Good.
Sorry, thank you.
Yeah, I went on Gab Sutton's show and I predicted we'd be 6th. I've revised that a little bit since then. I think I got a bit carried away, and I am going to say 10th. I think 10th is about right.
Not a bad one. It's better than last season, so I would definitely take that. I forgot to mention as well, Caity can't join us tonight. She's actually on holiday, but she has sent me in her predictions. So let's have a look to see what Caity's done. Caity's actually done 12th place, so she's gone mid-table, one spot higher than where we finished last year. So yeah, both improvements so far from Caity and Cam. I've actually gone for a 6th place finish. I'm feeling quite positive for this season. I'm not saying we're going to go up. I think we'll probably narrowly miss out through the playoffs, but I am very positive for the season, and I think we can maybe squeeze into the playoff contenders. Joe, I'll come to you. How are you, mate? Firstly, you all good?
Yeah, good, thank you. Yeah, really excited for this one. Always love the prediction one. It's a good laugh. We always enjoy taking the mick out of Mike's predictions. So yeah, no, I'm all good though.
Good stuff. And what's your final league position for Watford this year?
Mine's gonna be 8th. I think we're going to give it a real go. I think we'll probably just narrowly miss out. Unfortunately, I think I think the guys there will give it a good go. But yeah, 8th is my final position this season, I think.
Brilliant. And we've got a fair few people watching already, so thank you very much for everyone watching. Jeffrey has came in and said that we're going to finish 6th. So he's got the same prediction as myself. This is where we come to Mike now. Mike, a bit more level-headed, maybe a bit more negative. Maybe he's going to bring us back down to earth and predict relegation for the Hornets. Rio's also popped in and said he thinks we'll come 11th. Hope you're all well, Rio. Mike, so what are you thinking for the season?
Exactly what Rio said, 11th.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I think it's hard to judge it at the moment, even though we've made some signings already. I want to see when the window shuts who we've brought in, because if we're genuinely getting some of these defenders that we're linked with, they are very good additions to the squad. And I don't think we finished yet with the transfer business. So as of right now, 11th, but it may change come the end of the transfer window.
Fair enough. And sticking with you, Mike, then, so 11th place, how many points do you think we'll get on the board this year?
How many did we get last season? Was it 57? I might be way off the mark there.
I have no idea.
Oh, I thought you were laughing because you had the table up there.
No, I have no idea.
57 is spot on.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay. I think it's going to be a tough league. I've said to quite a few people that have been like mates of mine that I've been speaking to, obviously, football season coming back up, you always have a chat about it. And I said that last season was the poorest standard the Championship has been for a very long time. And I think it's going to completely go to the other end of the scale this season. And I actually think it's going to be the hardest it's been 5, 6, 7 years. So I think to be in 11th, we're going to have to get a fair few points. So I am going to say, let's go with 62 points.
Okay, so an improvement from last season. So you've gone up to 11th place for the Hornets, also increased the points tally as well. So it's a better season we're all predicting for the Hornets. Cam, what's your points tally then for just missing out on the playoffs?
Yeah, I think we're going to get around sort of, I was thinking 63, 64. I think we're about 5 or 10% better than last season squad-wise. So, yeah, it would make sense. Obviously, it's going to be a much tougher league, and there's a lot of question marks. You know, is Paolo going to be able to do what Tom Cleverley could do? If he can, then yeah, I think we'll be on for slightly more points, maybe around 63, 64.
Well, Caity's actually predicted 62 points for the Hornets. I've gone for 71. That's with me saying we'll get 6th place. And last year, I think it was about 69 got 6th place. But I agree with you, Mike. I think the Championship's going to go up a notch this year. It's so hard to predict. There's so many clubs making decent signings, spending a bit of money, and I can't call it. And all these other football podcasts out there are like predicting between 6th and down to 17th. Anyone could have a really good season, put like a run together, trying to sneak into that playoff. So it's going to be the hardest to predict this season, but looking forward to it. Joe, how many points do you reckon we'll get?
69 for me, I think.
Yeah, of course, he thought 69. Just when Jess came up with a comment, you've gone 69. Typical. Evening, Jess. But yeah, no, thank you very much for your points tally. Make sure you're all getting involved in the comments as well. We'll get them up on the screen and read them out. So top goal scorer now. I'll stick with you, Joe. Who do you think will be the top goal scorer for Hornets?
I'm gonna say.
If only you were given these questions in advance.
Yeah, no. Well, I was toying between two.
You're one to talk, Cam.
Yeah. Who's it who said, Cam? When I saw you last week, you told me it was Kurumgard. Is that right?
That's.
It's not Jurumgard.
I think it's Kurumgard.
Yeah,
Right, okay.
I've also heard it's Kurumgard after I educated everyone. It was the other way.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Kurumgard. And are we giving a number of goals, or do you just want to know who?
If you want to give me a number of goals, Joe,
yeah,
I'll take
I'm
it.
going to say I reckon he's going to get 16 goals for us this season.
Oof.
Wow. First league in English, first season in English football, and you're predicting Kurumgard to get 16 goals.
Yeah, I think he's going to have 5 by the end of August. So, I think he's going to really come in and hit the ground running. I think, yeah.
5.
I know you just said before we came on air, you put a message in the group saying you was just putting the girls to bed. Have you secretly just came back from a pub?
No, listen. I'm feeling really optimistic. Like I from what I saw of him at Leyton Orient, from what I've seen of highlights and bits that he did at Deportivo, bits. Obviously not the striking bits, but doing the bits behind the ball and trying to drive us forward. If he can then get in the box and be in those positions inside the 6-yard area and within 12 yards of the goal, I think we're going to have a good striker.
I just want to get him more involved in and around that 6-yard box and 18-yard box.
I agree. I think
from the games we've seen so far, other than the Leyton Orient game where he created his own chance in the box, I don't think we've really fed him. I like his link-up play. I like how physical he is. Completely different to Rajovic, isn't he? The example of him against Deportivo is amazing, where he bullied the defenders and he got the assist as well. And it seems like the plan is to play long balls up to the number 9. They hold it on or flick it on, and then the number 10 run on past them. And we saw a great example of that with Jack Greaves for the goal against Deportivo. So, yeah, I'm just hoping we get him more involved because the lad seems very talented. And I can't wait for him to get his first Watford goal. Rio also says Kurumgard. He's gone 13 goals, so not far off from you, Joe. Mike, who have you gone for top goal scorer?
Yeah, not to be boring, but I've gone Kurumgard as well. And just to touch on what you said and echo what you said, really, I think a lot of people were worried he was going to be a Rajovic Mark II. But I think even this early on, with the very few pre-season games he's played, I think we've seen that the evidence is quite clear that he isn't going to be a Rajovic Mark II. As you've perfectly highlighted, that assist he got against Deportivo, you wouldn't see Rajovic trying to close down a man or win the ball back like that to play the pass in the first place. So, yeah, Kurumgard with 14.
14, so double figures so far. Cam, we're keeping you awake. Just seeing a cheeky little yawn there.
It's been a long day.
Yeah, I can imagine it is.
Well, I'm also going to bore everyone to death here because I do think it's going to be Kurumgard as well. I'm going to say 13 goals. I think that's how many he'll get. But yeah, it's hard to look in that squad and find a goal scorer. And you've sort of got to hope that the goals are going to come from the striker this time. I'm also looking at Iran Kunda because he really can hit them from range. And I'm also looking at Barr, who I think has a lot more goals in him. But I think injuries are going to hold him back again this season. And yeah, I'm going to go for Kurumgard as a safe option.
No, I think it's a safe bet, isn't it? Jess said Kiembe. I think she's pulling your leg there, though, Cam. Caity has gone for Kieran God. Obviously, I didn't ask her how many goals to score, but yeah, it seems a clean sweep so far. I've actually gone a little bit different on this one. I've actually done 2 joint top goal scorers for Watford, and both of them to score 9 goals, because I believe that we're going to be spreading the goals amongst the squad this season. So I've actually gone for Kieran God and Dumbia, both to get 9 goals this season. Dumbia has been highly fancied on the left. Obviously, that all changes when everyone comes back fully fit. And for Watford to reject £10 million from Burnley a couple of weeks ago, I think that's an indication that he will be heavily involved for the Hornets this season. So I think he's going to get a few goals. And obviously, he played half the season last year in English football, getting goals. So he knows the league. He's building on his strength, and he looks a handful and a player. So I've gone for a joint top goal scorers with 9 goals for Kieran God. And Dumbia. Jess actually went on to say that Kiembe was going to score 10 goals. So I think that she must have been smoking something, to be honest.
You won't even get appearances.
I know, this is it. And we might come back to another category later on, because I think he could potentially be one of them up there for one of the categories. But yeah, thank you everyone for continuing to get involved. There's absolutely loads of comments so far. Ian's actually put a really good comment in here, and I'll get it up onto the screen. That's not Ian, that's Jess again. Basically, he's asked who's going to take the penalties for Watford this season, and would that make a difference in the top goal scorer?
It would. Obviously, strong chance Tom Delly moves on, isn't there? So, yeah, I'm not sure who it would be. Have we seen anyone else take a penalty in this squad?
Imran Loser?
Yeah, could possibly be him. I think has he taken more than one? Because I know he missed one against Norwich a couple of years ago, but I can't recall anyone else in the squad. Kayembe has taken a few, but again, I think he'll leave. So you've got no idea there who's going to be the penalty taker, but you'd probably bet it's going to be the striker. So let's go with Kieran God again.
You know, I wouldn't be surprised to see him be given it. But yeah, let's have a look at the next category now.
Who did Caity say was going to be top goal scorer?
Kieran God as well.
Oh, my bad.
So yeah, it was a clean sweep. Next category might be a bit difficult, a bit more rogue. Different suggestions I'm expecting. Breakout star. Joe, who do you think is going to be the breakout star for the Hornets?
Well, mine's really left field, and I'm probably going to get a lot of laughs now.
Reece Healy's left, mate.
But after his goal the other night, and just the last couple of years, I believe that Jack Greaves is going to get a run in this side now. I'm really hopeful that he's going to stay in and around the squad, and they feel like he's developed enough and that he's good enough to be in and around. Obviously, I'm so happy he scored the other night. It was a great finish for him, and you know he's worked hard. He's gone out on loans and stuff, and he's come back. And yeah, I do believe that it'll be a big part of our squad this year, I think.
We'll come back to that when he gets loaned out next week.
No, I know Joe likes Jack Greaves, and I like what he offers as well. I like his work rate, and I think that's why he's been selected in those pre-season games and was given that start, because he seems to really want to press high, and that's what Pezzolano wants. And look, if we're still waiting for Jack to come back, so I'm expecting him to be involved, but I do think that he, like Cam says, I think he might end up going out on loan on that last day of the transfer window once we realise we've got everyone up to speed. We haven't even got Mama into the action yet. We haven't got Jack back on the pitch. So I think his minutes will probably be limited. But it's a great shout, and who knows? Mike, who have you gone for?
Exactly what Joe was going for. I think Greavesy as well. I think, like he said, you always wonder, don't you, with these players from like under 21s, under 18s. I always look back to Alex Jakubiak because he had so much promise. He had a couple of first team appearances, but it never worked out for him. And I feel like there's been a bit of a curse since. Granted, cleverly used a few of the young lads last season, but I think that was maybe more force of hands than, wanting to. So I really hope that Greaves is in and around the squad. But it also wouldn't surprise me, as you and Cam have just said, if he goes out on loan. So fingers crossed it's Greaves.
Yeah. Caity's gone for Irakunda as a breakout star. I've actually gone for Pierre Duomo. I think that he's going to be our breakout star. I've been really impressed with him in pre-season. Me and Cam loved his 45-minute cameo against AFC Wimbledon. And I think he's going to have a lot to offer. And I wouldn't be surprised if he finds his way into the starting 11 because of how well he's playing. So, yeah, that's my prediction. Cam, who's your breakout star?
Yeah, I was also going to go with Pierre Duomo. I was thinking he is going to be important for us, and I think he's got all the ability to be one of our best players this season. But I'm actually going to go with Mark Bowler. I think he's going under the radar a little bit. Obviously, because we got Wiley back, it seems everyone thinks Wiley's a shoo-in to sort of hold down that left back slot for the whole season. And I don't think that's the case based on what we've seen of Mark Bowler so far. I think he's got a really good delivery on him. He seems to suit what Pezzolano wants to do. And I think combined with having, Dumbia and Kieramgard in the middle, potentially, Semedo in there, potentially Cipriano making late runs in, and also Barr's a big guy as well. You've got a lot of targets in the box there, and you need someone who's going to pick them out. So I think for that reason, Mark Bowler is going to be really important this season, and I don't think you can count him out starting a lot of games for us. So I definitely think he'll be starting against Charlton, and I'm looking forward to see what he can do.
Yeah, no, I agree. I like what I've seen of him so far, and I also agree that I think that he even might be our first choice left back. Wiley's going to have to perform really well to get into the starting lineup and keep his spot. But it's a healthy selection to have, Joe, isn't it? Having this competition now and having that depth, having two players for each position, because it's going to keep everyone on their toes, isn't it?
Yeah, like you say, I think, I've been impressed by Bowler myself. I saw him at Orient and I thought he was probably one of the best players that day. Wiley's certainly going to have a job getting back into the side and obviously keeping his spot. Obviously, if he doesn't play very well one game, then, he'll probably find himself on the bench of the following game. But like you say, it's good to have the competition among the squad. It's nice to have the depth and have the potential selection headaches that Pezzolano is going to have, because we've not had that for quite a few years now, have we? So it's a bit unusual for us going who's going to start this week, because the team for I think the last maybe 3 seasons probably picked itself, hasn't it? So looking forward to that at least.
Yeah, and who maybe comes in for that first game of the season, Mike? Like, it's you looked at the preseason games where Pezzolano's picked his sides and thinking, okay, I think I can maybe go with an 11 that he's going to select for Charlton.
I'd certainly hope so. You'd usually sort of base it off the last pre-season game, wouldn't you? But they've been saying a lot that obviously Chak hasn't been involved yet, and they are hoping he's ready for Charlton. And it's a bit of a big risk, if you ask me, to chuck him in from the start. But then to play devil's advocate, you want your best players, and Chak is certainly one of those. So I think it will largely be the team that played against Deportivo, with maybe 1 or 2 changes. But I would like to think Pezzolano knows his best 11 by now.
Yeah, no, you would hope so. He's worked with the squad for over a month now. Cam, what would you do against Charlton? Sorry, I've gone massive off topic, but I felt like we was getting through the predictions quite quickly, so I've thrown in some other questions in there to break it all up. Who would be in your starting lineup against Charlton?
Yeah, well, it depends on a lot of things. We haven't had a lot of our better players available. I certainly don't see someone like Irakunda, Marma, and any of those guys coming in. I don't think Semedo is going to come in, and I'm not sure Chak Vitati and Barr are going to be ready to come in either. So it might not be, the lineup that we want to see just yet. I'd certainly be playing Kieramgard, Loser. I think Cipriano will be in there. And it's probably going to be Kevin and a banker at the back, you'd think. And Ngakia looks like the first choice right back. And in that number 10 slot, no idea who's going to be there. Potentially,
that's the one, isn't it?
Did you guys hear that?
What happened? The pigeon flew into your window or something?
Something going on outside. I think there's room for Vata to come in. There's room for Dumbia to play. So it's a toss up what's actually going to happen. I just know we need to keep playing the way we have been, where we're going direct into the striker and sort of winning the second balls in midfield and then playing it out wide. That's what we need to do. And again, I think Mark Bowler's going to be key to that.
No,
and Gaki is a big concern for me, I've got to say. His fitness. I mean, you saw when I turned to you, Cam, at Leyton Orient, was it 54 minutes on the clock, and like he was trying to track back, and he looked like he'd just run 26 miles.
And before you turned to me and said that, I said the exact same thing to my dad.
Literally was like, what on earth is this? Like, he just looks so unfit. It was ridiculous.
Yeah, look, he hasn't got pace to him, but there's been a lot of talk about the right back role where it's going to be sort of rotating with the number 10. And I think that does suit Ngakia a little bit more, because he doesn't really have the pace to play on the outside, but he tends to do quite well on the ball. He keeps the ball well. He's a good dribbler, and he can pass it reasonably well. So I do think moving about like that, swapping with the number 10, I think that's going to suit him. But I still really want to see us get another right back. It's not going to be long before we're sort of back to square one, and we're trying to play a right back in a more traditional way. And I don't feel like Ngakia can do that, to be honest.
No. Quick question, Mike. Pollock went off with a bit of a niggle against Deportivo. I think Watford have played it down, saying there's nothing really in it, precautionary. Does he start at the weekend, or are you looking for Kevin to come in and partner James Abankwah?
Kevin and Abankwah need to be the starting centre-backs for this season. Hands down. Kevin is absolutely fantastic. He come on against, was it Leyton Orient? He come on, and albeit in a bit of a nothing game, he did not put a single foot wrong. Like, even when he was up the other end of the pitch, I think for some reason he had the ball by the corner flag, but like we were attacking, and you'd expect, he tries to cross it, it ricochets, or he loses the ball. He actually did like really well to keep the ball in play and then find a pass with so many players around him in such a tight quadrant. So yeah, 100% Kevin and Abankwah need to be our starting centre backs this season.
Now the guy just oozes class. I love him. The only problem is, similar to Ngakia, his Watford career hasn't really been great, and he's only had about 6 appearances for the Hornets, because he is a bit made out of glass. We signed him and he was injured, then he had lots of niggles which kept him out from making his appearance. Then he picked up an injury after he did like 2 back-to-back games for the Hornets, and so hopefully that's behind him. But I think Watford know that they've got to wrap him up with cotton wool and manage his minutes. But it'd be interesting to see how he gets on. Next question before we go back into our predictions, Joe. Club captaincy. Who has the armband for you this season? Obviously, Daniel Batman is club captain. He will be off. He'll be leaving into the sunset very shortly after Mike's driving him to the airport. But who are you giving the captain armband this season?
My man Imran. Loser, 100% for me. Is I'll be really shocked if he's not the captain, to be honest with you. He's always on the pitch, isn't he? He's always there in the referee's ear, and he's always, in the right place to just have a word with the ref if we need it. And I think that's what we need. We need to have a person back on the pitch that's there and can give the referee a bit of jip. And I think he's that person. I don't think nothing against like Sissoko. I mean, but I just don't think he's. I don't think we need someone a little bit more aggressive. I think.
Yeah, no, I agree. I also think I personally think Imran deserves the captaincy, and I think it would be something the club might want to give him to try and keep him at the club for a bit longer, by saying thank you for staying around for another season. And also persuading me a little bit more is I don't see Sissoko playing week in, week out, doing 90 minutes where Imran Loser will be. So you want that captain to be on the field every minute of a game, and I think Imran provides that for me over Sissoko. Cam, what about you?
Yeah, I mean, I think it is still going to be Musa, but as you said, he's not going to play as much. So yeah, when he's not on the pitch, I would go with Loser as captain. I feel like he has all of the qualities. He's someone everyone looks up to, and yeah, he's definitely a character, and he'll lead by example as well. So he'd be my pick.
And Mike, would you see it maybe being a shared responsibility between Sissoko and Imran? So Sissoko might have it whenever he's on the pitch, and when he's not, it might be Imran.
Yeah, I think that's basically what will happen. In a dream scenario, if I was picking it, it'd be Loser, and then Cipriano will be vice captain. But I think, I might have said this last year, but I genuinely think this season there are a few leaders dotted around that squad, and we haven't had that for quite some time. I know I've just said Pollock doesn't get him up starting 11, but if Pollock's playing, he's a natural leader at the back. Banqua, he seems like someone that can command that back as well. Cipriano, Loser, Sissoko. So, yeah, I think we've got a squad where the sort of successors are there ready if anything was to happen, and that's very, very promising.
No, definitely. Right, yeah, went off topic a little bit there, but we had to fill a little bit of a gap because we was getting through the topics quite quickly. We'll jump back into our predictions. Most assists. I will start us off. I think it's just one person. I think it's going to be Georgie Chapadassi, especially if he stays with the club. I think he's going to be coming up with the most assists this season. Caity has gone for Georgie as well. So that's 2. Cam, what about you?
I'm going to go with Bar. I don't think there's any stopping him when he's got the ball on the right-hand side. And now we got potentially 2 strikers in the box to aim at. I think he's going to have an absolute field day, and we're going to score a lot of goals from Bar doing what he does this season.
Yeah, I guess if you win a penalty, does that count as an assist? Because I think we're going to see quite a lot of those from Bar.
Yeah, potentially. I mean, I don't think he would need that to even get the most assists on the team, because he'll get that many, I think.
No, definitely. Joe?
I was going to go Bar as well. I think just simply because I think him and Georgie are 2 different type of players in terms of the way they put the ball in the box. Georgie's more of a stops, looks up, wants to float the ball in the box to, someone at the back post kind of player, and Bar gets into the box, drives into the box, and just want to smash it straight into the area. And so someone's more likely to get on the end of that than Georgie's type of ball. So I just think, yeah, I mean, listen, you can't really take too much from Leyton Orient because it's Leyton Orient, but they were a week ahead of us in preparations. Obviously, their season started yesterday, so they were looking to be as strong as they can against us, and he was just gliding past. And as I said to you guys when I saw him after, and he said, he's found the pitch to be quite dry and a bit of a struggle to kind of move. He did pretty well in what we saw him do. So yeah, I think Bar's going to be our top assister for this season.
I can't wait to see him ripping defenders apart, just like what we saw against Leyton Orient when he barged 2 players off onto the floor. That's Bar at his best when he gets to that byline and drags it back. So yeah, I think you could be onto something here with Corduroy Bar. Mike, what about you?
Mark Boller. providing he can get a consistent run in the team. I really liked the look of him against Leyton Orient, and I like the fact that he's not afraid to cross it early. Sometimes I think we're a bit naive and very guilty of trying to run it to the byline and then pulling it back. Because Barr's so good at doing that, I think the player on the other side automatically thinks, oh, well, he's doing a good job, so I'll have a go. But I counted 4 or 5 times where Bola got the cross in early doors. If Keremgard's good in the air, you see compilations, you can't really judge a player off that. But he scored a few headed goals. So if the service is there, hopefully he's good in the air. Doumbia, he scored a headed goal against Burnley as well. So we know that he's a threat in the air, and he can be. So, yeah, Mark Bola is providing, as I say, he gets running the team. I think he'll be top assister this season.
That's a good shout. Next category, player of the season. Caity's gone for back-to-back awards for Imran Loser. She's expecting him to pick up the awards again. I've actually gone for Quadro Bar. I think he's just going to be so entertaining where fans are going to love him, albeit we just need to keep him fit. But I think he knows not to push himself 110% each game like he did last season. So I think he's going to be a bit more wary, and hopefully we get more games out of him. If he plays all season, hands down for me would be player of the season. Joe?
I would like to have gone Bar, but I think they're going to manage his minutes a bit more this year. I don't think he's going to feature as much as what we would like. I think they're just going to be really cautious with him so that he doesn't pick up too many injuries along the way. Just because it's a World Cup year, and I know that he's going to want to be a standout performer because he's going to want to be noticed at the World Cup next year. I'm going to go Georgie. I think Georgie's really going to come into his own this year, and I think I'm hoping he's going to step up with the amount of goals he's scored, and I think he's going to get a lot more assists this year. I feel that there's better players around him now, and I think he's going to get a lot more help rather than it being the weight on his shoulders to be the one that performs every week. So I think that's going to just give him a bit more license to have a bit more freedom on the pitch. So yeah, I'm going with Georgie this year, I think.
Mike?
Same as you, Ben. Quadwo, providing he can stay fit and have a good run in the team, he's really going to be dangerous down that right-hand side and cause so many defenders, so many problems, and I cannot wait to watch it.
Yeah. Jess says Imran Loser. Cam, with me and Mike and Joe saying how well Bar's going to do this season, I've not got your prediction yet, but if he's going to go on to having a player of the season year, do you think Watford can keep hold of him in January?
I think so. I don't think there's any risk of us selling our better players in January. Gino knows that, it's not really the time to be selling those players. So I don't doubt there'll be interest because, there was interest in him last January. But I don't see us selling him until at least the summer.
No. And your player of the season?
It's tough. There's a lot of contenders. I want to go with Bar. I want to go with Chakvetadze. I think one of the centre backs could also be a shout. Whether it's a Bankwer, Kevin Pollock, any of those three could come into it. But I'm actually going to go with Egil Selvik. I think it depends a lot on where our season goes, but I do think the way he played last season. He would have been sort of number 3 in my vote for player of the season, and he only played half of it. So, yeah, he's someone who's going to give us a lot of consistency, and he's just a very good all-round goalkeeper. I think he's going to keep us in a lot of games and win us a lot of points. So, yeah, he's going to be my pick.
Yeah. I absolutely love that. That's a solid pick. Adam Rowe, I hope you're well, mate. He says Ngakia for player of the season. Right, next prediction. New one for the Voice of the Vic. I like this one. First player to be sold in January, Mike.
Wow. God, that is a tough one.
You've got a week to think about it.
Well, I have, yeah. Apologies. Do you know what? I'm gonna play it a bit safe here, and I don't think we'll get rid of him just yet because we've only got 2 in that position. But maybe James Morris will go in January. Maybe we'll sort of keep him around just as a very, very last minute resort. Should anything happen to Wiley and Bolla, it'd have to be very unfortunate for that to be the case. But we'll either get, in fact, I don't even think we'll get another left back in, but hopefully, touch wood, they'll see in January that he's absolutely surplus to requirements.
See, I think he's going to go this transfer window. He didn't feature against Deportivo, and they had an academy youngster came on and played at left back, didn't they? But who knows? Like you say, they might want to stack up all those left backs and get rid of him in January. Cam, who do you think will be a first one off?
Are you including out on loan as well?
No, because the category is first player to be sold, not first player to be loaned. So it's going to be sold, unfortunately.
Well, I would have said Jack Greaves. I think there's a strong chance he'd be off on loan in January. But I'm going to go for Tom Dele-Bashiru then. I don't think we're going to be able to sell him this summer. And I think the club do want him off the books. So, yeah, I think there's a very strong chance that we'll have to wait till January for him to go.
Joe, what about you?
Don't know about what you said there, Cal. I think there's enough clubs interested in him. I think that will allow him to leave in the summer. I think there's 6, 7 clubs apparently interested in him.
Maybe, but the price we're asking for is allegedly quite high. So I could see us maybe just keeping hold of him for half a season, not really using him, and then getting rid in January for a bit of a lower price.
Yeah, potentially. Yeah. Mine would have been Tom Ince. I think there's a lot of people in that position. I think he looked a little bit all at sea for me at Orient. I didn't really see the point of him being on the pitch, to be honest. It's a bit harsh. I know it's only pre-season, but yeah, I just think we've got better players now. And, Wally, I've got no qualms in, he was great for us and at times a really good squad player, and he gave it his all when he was on the pitch for us last season. So, yeah, I'd wish him well in his move. But, yeah, I think he'll probably stay beyond just because he's featured around pre-season. But I think in January, he probably won't get many minutes this season. And, he'll probably be one of the first to go in January.
Yeah, see, I've put down Tom Ince as well to be the first one sold. But I wanted to put Kiembe, but then isn't it the African Cup of Nations this in January? So then I thought we might not be in a position to sell any African players. So I took back the Kiembe and threw Tom Ince in. Caity's gone for James Morris as well. But yeah, it'd be interesting. It's a different category. Who knows who will crop up and be sold? It might be Imran Loser. Who knows? We'll find out come the end of the season. Next one, another good one. Who will get that first red card for Watford this season? Because it's guaranteed. It's nailed on. I'll start. I've gone for Kevin. I thought it was a silly red card he picked up at Portsmouth, and that's the kind of red card that I could see being replicated this season. And if he starts as our main centre back, I think that he might be the one that picks up that first red card. Mike, who do you think will get sent to the showers early?
Matty Pollock, providing he actually plays instead of Caben. I just think he's got strengths to his game, but I think he's very slow, and I think he could be the weak link in that back line. And like you've just said, Keben's red card against Pompey was a very poor one. We could absolutely see the same happen with Matty Pollock. If he gets caught, on the ball or he's not quick enough, it's so easy as a defender, just a little tug of the shirt, go down like a sack of spuds, and you're walking down the tunnel. So, yeah.
Okay, Matty Pollock. Joe, what about you?
Well, talking of poor red cards, if his red card at Oxford's anything to go by, then I think a bank was going to get it for me. I think, I've just got a feeling for some reason, and I hope it doesn't come at Charlton. But yeah, I think he's going to be the person getting the first red card of the season.
Okay, and Cameron.
All I know is it's going to happen in the Carabao Cup game against Norwich. And for that reason, I think I'm going to go with Ryan Andrews. And I think it's going to be, he's going to be up against our man, Pap Diallo. And he's going to go for a 2-footer like Britos. And just like that, Andrews will be off.
I like that. Another one to throw out there. I wouldn't be surprised if it's Sissoko if he loses his head. We've seen that before in the season. Who else could you maybe throw into the mix?
Loser.
Selvit, maybe like bringing someone down outside the box potentially. Loser, good one. But yeah, it'd be interesting to see. Hopefully, we don't have any red cards and we can null and void this topic when it comes to the end of the season. Right, so next category now. How long will Pezzolano last, Mike?
This one's probably the hardest one out the lot because, yeah, we can predict where we think we're going to finish, etc. But we ain't got a clue how the season's going to start. It could get off to a flyer, and then we could drop like a stone, or we could do what we did under Boothroyd and start really poorly and then go on this magnificent run. So, yeah, by far and away the toughest question. Do I think he will last? No, because as I've predicted, I think we'll finish 11th. And I think the Pozzos, rightly or wrongly, have their eyes firmly on promotion. So I think if it gets to a stage in the season and we're nowhere near that promotion race, the playoff pack or top two, even if they want to set their sights that high, I think why will they break a habit of a lifetime? And I think they'll pull the trigger. And you can bet your bottom dollar that there's probably conversations have already been had about who might come in after Pezzolano. But I think maybe more so because they're pinning a lot of hopes on this guy, labelling him as a promotion specialist and having had promotions in 4 of the 5 jobs he's done, if I'm not mistaken. I think that's going to add maybe a little bit of pressure. So I don't, unfortunately, think he'll last. But like I say, rightly or wrongly, yeah, we'll maybe come to that if we have to do an emergency podcast. So.
Yeah, who knows? Like you say, Mike, this is the hardest one to predict, isn't it? Because you never know what's going to happen behind the scenes. You don't know how quickly he's going to adapt to English football, getting the understanding of it, how he sets up against other teams. And look, it could go horribly, horribly wrong if we lose, like say, our first 4 or 5 games on the bounce, and we've picked up 0 points in the month of August, or we go into the first international break with 4 points on the board. You just never know. Caity has predicted Pezzolano will last 8 months. Don't know, does that get him through the season? I don't think it does. I think it narrowly misses him out. And does the 8-month count from when he was appointed? So when did he start pre-season? Back end of June. So maybe January, February time. So that's Katie's prediction. Also, sorry, Caity, I forgot to mention who you said would get Watford's first red card. You actually went for James Abankwah to pick up the red card.
Sorry to butt in. 8 months from the start of the season would be April. So it'd be very unfortunate to get sacked in April, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Happened before, though.
Yeah. With sacking someone in April time, Cam, what kind of position would Watford be in? Would they be flirting with relegation, or would they be like they have been in a playoff mix and then we're falling off the cliff a little bit, but it's still in touch and in sight, and they think that a new manager bounce might get them up?
Yeah, I mean, normally that would be when you've missed out on your goals, you're not going anywhere, and you're just looking ahead to next season. But I mean, we sacked Nigel Pearson with 2 games to go in a relegation battle. So it could be anything with us. We could sack him in August. We could sack him literally in the first international break, like we did with Rob Edwards. You just don't know. And I'm going to throw my prediction out there. I think it'll be January when he goes, when we'll sort of be, mid-table, not doing too badly, but they'll want playoffs, and mid-table won't be enough to save his job. So they'll do all their scheming in January, and they'll bring in a new guy, sign some players for him, and that'll be that. Yeah, it'll be another year of mid-table. The only thing you can guarantee with us is that we are sacking the manager, and it's a sorry state of affairs, but it is what it is now.
Yeah. It's never going to be a manager that's poached by another club, is it, with Watford? It only ends up in one way. It's never like his contracts ran out. It's always he's been fired. Joe, how long do you reckon Pezzolano will get?
I think he's going to be our manager when we're in the Premier League next season. I think.
Oi, HMS.
I was going to say I don't know what boat you guys are getting on, but I know what I'm getting on Friday, and it's setting sail at the Valley on Saturday, and here we go.
I thought he was going to say the boat that takes you along the River Thames with some beers going down to Charlton.
Yeah, that's a good boat, actually, isn't it? That is a good boat. But you know what? I'm going to hold out a bit of hope. Someone's got to hold out some hope, haven't they? I really do. He seems. I'll first of all say he seems like a really genuinely nice bloke as a person. Like, for what he did at Orient, hopefully he'll do the same sort of thing at Charlton, to acknowledge how many fans obviously going down their opening day, but to come over to the fans at Orient and kind of give the fans a round of applause and just kind of acknowledge the support before was great. I think he's going to do well this season. I do believe he's going to do well. I do believe he'll last the season, and hopefully, if we do miss out on the playoffs, I do hope the Pozzos do give him another chance. Obviously, they don't tend to do that, but hopefully it will. And if we do go up, then hopefully they believe that he's good enough to stay in charge and at least give him a bit of a run in the Premier League before they fire him in probably October.
Yeah, no, definitely. He's been quite clever. He's saying it's all about the fans, and he's building it up to be all about the fans in the games that he's been at. He's always applauded the fans in away games. He's always made the point of walking all the way over to the fans. Be interesting if he does that in the Championship, if he does that for Charlton away, first game of the season, when he comes out the tunnel and he walks along the pitch towards Watford fans. I think it would get a great reception regardless. But it'd be good to see if that does actually happen on the first game of the season. Where is it? Philip Crouch says November. I'm the same as you, Joe. I'm feeling obviously confident for the season, and I've predicted us to finish 6th. So with that 6th place finish, I have expected Pezzolano to finish the season. And you know what? I'm going to say, if we miss out in the playoffs, I think they'll give him another go next season. I think they'll say, you know what? You've done a good job with a new, fresh squad. We want you to stick around next season. So that's my big take and hot take for next season, is that he will get through the season and he will be here next season. Right, next category is, do you think that the Hornets will have a cup run, Cam? And if so, what round will the Hornets get to in either the League Cup or the FA Cup? Do you think we're going to have a cup run?
I'd like us to. I'd love a good cup run. I don't think there's anything better in football, but we're not going to have one. Norwich are going to beat us. Pap Diallo is scoring his first goal at Vicarage Road, and there'll be many more to come, I can assure you of that. And we are going to get battered by Norwich, and we're not going to do anything in the FA Cup either. So I think it'll be a first round exit in both cups.
Bloody hell, Merry Christmas to you as well, mate. Jesus. Mike, you got a bit more cheer on your side?
Yeah, I'm going to go a bit left field on this one. We are due a cup run in the League Cup, so I actually think we're going to get to the quarterfinals of the Carabao Cup, if it's still called the Carabao Cup. I'm not sure. And I think maybe round 4 of the FA Cup. So I think we'll get drawn to League 1 or League 2 in the FA Cup at home, win that, but then get knocked out the next round by Championship team. So yeah, bit of a cup run. Just miss out on. I love them. I do the 2-legged semi-finals in the League Cup. I think they're brilliant. I know a lot of people aren't a fan of the League Cup, but yeah, we'll just narrowly miss out on them.
Yeah, that's one thing about the League Cup that's actually good, and it's better over the FA Cup. Is that the 2-legged the semi-final? Although I do like the semi-final at Wembley because you get to go to the Green Man again, and I know that's something that you've got on your bingo card in a couple of weeks' time, Cam and Mike. You're doing a 10K in Wembley, and you're going to go to the Green Man afterwards.
Absolutely.
Hey, why not? While in Wembley. Alan says that no, I think we'll be concentrating on the end goal, which is promotion. It's absolutely fair enough. Caity says no, probably not. So she's gone straight in. Absolutely not. Joe, what about you?
Yeah, I think Mike's right. I think we're due a cup run in the League Cup. I'm going to say, quarterfinals in the League Cup, and I reckon the 5th round in the FA Cup this year.
Nice. I will go with you and Mike, Joe. I'm going to say we'll do better in the League Cup than what we will do in the FA Cup. I think after Ryan Andrews has injured Pezzolano, I don't think Norwich will look like a threat for us. So we'll get through them with ease. 3-0 on penalties. And then we will go through to maybe the 5th round of the League Cup. Probably get knocked out to someone silly like, I don't know, someone who ain't got a... Yeah. Don't know. Maybe we'll lose to someone like Everton, which is a team you would expect to maybe win at home. But yeah, we'll end up losing to those lot up there. Next category. Oh, another different one. Final league position for our neighbours up the M1. Mike?
I know a lot of people said that they were building this championship super team, and obviously it didn't work out for them. And we absolutely loved the fact that it didn't. But I'm sorry, but I can't see past them winning the league. I didn't watch Friday night, but I am reliably told that it was an absolutely honking game. There was one shot on target, and the goal was an own goal. So that shot on target wasn't even the winning goal. So way to kick things off, Luton. But you know what they'll say? Oh, well, they all count. A win's a win. And I'd probably say the same as well. But yeah, I can't see anyone else winning League One. Huddersfield, I think, will be knocking on the door. But I had a conversation with a mate of mine who's a Blues fan, and he actually thinks they'll break Blues' points record this season in League One.
Oh,
but
wow.
yeah, I won't go that far. But unfortunately, as I say, I think they'll win the league. Unfortunately, yeah.
Wow. See, I don't know if anyone else in here watched the game. I thought that was awful. I didn't really like them. AFC Wimbledon played some really good football, passed it around, knocked them around. What they looked like was 11 individuals that have been thrown together, and they haven't got a clue we're playing with each other at the moment. And yes, they've made okay signings, but I think it might take a while for them to gel. And I don't think the players they've brought in are as good as the players they've lost, even though they've ended up getting relegated down to League One. Hello, Luton Town. So I will go for myself is a 3rd place finish, and they're going to lose out in the playoff final, hopefully to someone like Stevenage or Wickham, because that would fucking irritate them. So let's go with that one. Joe, what do you reckon?
I agree with Mike. Well, I don't think I don't necessarily think they're going to walk away with the league. I think it will be between them and Cardiff. I think Cardiff are going to go close themselves this year. They were poor the other night, Luton, but it's just worth, people like Narky Wells, George Saville, and the fact they've just spent £2.5 million on Jerry Yates as well from Swansea. They've got money to obviously spend. So if they get to January and they're in a good position and they want to strengthen, then they'll definitely, for me, buy the players to send them up. So yeah, I'm going to go top two. I don't know whether they'll win it, but if not, they'll come runners up.
Cam?
Yeah, I don't think it's the toughest League One this year. There are teams that should be challenging, really, that I just don't think will be. I'm looking at Plymouth especially, but Barnsley, Bolton. I don't think those teams are going to be up there. I think Huddersfield have a good chance of being up there. They've done some good business. Who's their manager again? They appointed someone quite left field. Was it? It was Lee Grant.
Lee Grant, and they've signed Alfie May as well from Birmingham for £1 million.
Yeah, they have, and they won their first game, didn't they? Yeah, I do like the look of them. I think Cardiff are going to be quite strong. I think Stockport are going to be really strong. Luton looked terrible on Friday. They looked really bad. I don't think Bloomfield is a top manager, really. And but squad-wise, they probably should be doing really well. So I'm just going to stick them 24th and hope that comes to fruition. I think that's a good prediction.
What Cam's done is he's turned the table upside down, hasn't he, really? But yeah, 24th for Luton Town. Caity, did I do Caity's prediction? No, she did 5th place. She's gone for a 5th place finish. So playoffs as well. But that's enough about the scummers up the road. Next category, and the last one we've got. Well, actually, no, second last one. We'll do our teams to go up and down in the Championship after this one. Will any Watford players make the Championship team of the season? If so, who? Very different to what we normally do. They've got to have a standout season. Let everyone think a little bit. I will go to Caity's first. So Caity has gone for Imran Loser and Quadro Bar. I've gone for Quadro Bar and Selvik. I think Selvik's going to be one of the best keepers in the league, if not the best. Really impressed with what he did last season, and I think we've got a proper, decent keeper on our hands, especially with the goalkeeper at Sheffield United. Looks like he's moving on, and he was outstanding. Cooper, I want to say.
Cooper. Where's he going?
He's linked with a move to a Premier League. I'm not too sure what side, but yeah, he's
West
been
Ham.
rumoured. There you go, West Ham. So yeah, I think he'll be off. So yeah, Bar and Selvik for me. Joe, do you think any Watford players would get in the team of the year?
Yeah, comfortably. When we do well and when we go up, I think they're going to probably look at our squad and want to put in as many as they can. But I'm going to go Selvik, Loser, Georgie.
Nice. Cam?
I don't think any are getting in, really.
I think negative. First round cup exits, no players in the team of the year. Why didn't you just predict us bottom of the league in your earlier prediction?
I don't know why he came on. He's yawning his head off.
No, look, I want some of them to get in, but I don't think they will. I think they could easily. There's a lot of players in there that could go and have a really big season for us, but yeah, I don't see it happening, I'm afraid.
Mike, what about you? It's obviously it's a difficult one, isn't it? And Watford players don't tend to get into the team of the year unless they get into the playoffs or get promoted. So are we expecting a good season for the Hornets? You predicted us mid-table, so maybe you're going to go against it and say no?
No, I think Imran Loser. I'm potentially going to say something really stupid here, but you mentioned about have Morocco qualified for the World Cup? Are they in? Surely they're one of the favourites for AFCON. If not, I don't really get the stipulation between the two. So he'll want a standout season. He'll want to put himself on a pedestal. Let's be fair as well. it sounds like we're doing a bloody good job to keep hold of him. So in his eyes, he's like, well, I either absolutely play my socks off and we get promoted and I'm a Premier League player next season, or I play my socks off, get an international call up, because if I'm not mistaken as well, I think he was left out of the Morocco squad a couple of times last season. And for a player like Loser, I think that would have hurt him a bit. And he'll be like, well, if I don't go up, I'll have played that well, I'll have earned a move. So I think Loser is absolutely more than capable to get in the Championship Team of the Year.
Yeah, no, I think it's very well respected amongst fan bases as well, and players. I think they can see that there's a player there. Let's finish on who's going up and who's going down. First one, who's going up from the Championship, Cam?
That's tough. I only know Southampton are going to piss the league. That's a dead given. They're going to run away with it. No one's close to them. I think Ipswich are going to go up. They'll probably come second. And then third place, I could be boring and go Leicester, but I do think they're going to struggle. Still think they'll get in the playoffs probably. And yeah, who knows from there. But I'm going to say Norwich. I like what they're doing. I think there's a lot of money behind them. They've gone really smart appointing Liam Manning, who obviously just missed out last year. And I think they've made the right improvements, and they're gonna go up this season. So I'm going with those three.
Nice. Joe, what about you?
Yeah, I think Southampton will win the league. I've heard they're re-signing Danny Ings as well. I don't know how true that is, but if they get Danny Ings, then yeah, they're definitely going to have enough going forward, aren't they, to catapult them to top position. Ipswich, yeah, probably will finish second. I think they're probably going to be the two best, especially the fact they kept Kieran McKenna. I think with him in charge, I think he's the right person probably to take them forward. It's just that last the playoff. I'm just going to go really boring and probably say Sheffield United will probably do it this year. I think they had the squad last year. Whether they'll be good enough again this year. Obviously, they've not got Wilder, have they? Is it Sellers? Is it?
Yeah,
large now. Yeah, yeah. I'm going to go Sheffield United. I think. I know what you guys said about the league being really tough this year. I think it's going to be really, really tough. I think that those top two could kind of pick themselves, but with Leicester potentially getting this point deduction and stuff, I think obviously they're going to be playing catch up if that actually comes in for them. Could Birmingham be a shout? I don't really want to say Birmingham, but yeah, if not Sheffield United, then yeah, Birmingham for me. Because I mean, if they get Chuba Akpom from Ajax, that's some signing, and they've got a decent squad already, and I think they're probably only going to strengthen before the end of the window, so they can have a really, really good side this year. So they might give it a real good go.
Mike?
Southampton, Birmingham, and Ipswich in that order. I said Birmingham a couple of seasons ago to sneak playoffs and ended up getting relegated.
They are rent free in your head.
Yeah,
I think you want them to go up.
No, I don't want them to go up. Trust me, I really don't want them to go up.
Mike's going to be at the promotion party, the ground.
No, absolutely not.
You're going to see Mike on all the Sky Sports videos, like with all his mates.
Absolutely not.
He comes off the Watford pod and he's there on the Birmingham pod now.
Trust me, I do not want them to go up because I think their fans will be even more unbearable. Unbearable, sorry. I think you're getting a snippet of how unbearable they can be because at the moment the Amazon documentary that's come out, which, by the way, if you read the reviews, everyone's just saying it's a cheap copy of the Wrexham documentary. But that squad that they've assembled, I mean, jury's still out on whether Chris Davis is going to be good enough at this level. But the squad that they've assembled, other than Ryan Allsop in goal, who the only reason I can think he did so well was because he was in League One and he had such a good defence in front of him. The 2 times I've seen him play against Watford that stick out in my mind, Hoot scored from his own half against him, and we stuck 6 past him when he was at Bournemouth, and they come up. In fact, that was the first home game I think me and Ben met. So the 6-1 game. So he's not exactly someone that's, stuck out in my mind who you see him come to against Watford and you think, oh, every time we've played him, he's played well. He's definitely on the other end of the scale. But the squad that they've assembled, I mean, Joe just picked up on it there. Akpom, if they get him, there are rumours that Akpom might be going back to Middlesbrough as well, though. So a toss-up between the two. I mean, they were linked with Mitrovic as well, and that really wouldn't have surprised me if Mitrovic went there. Jay Stansfield got a lot of critics last season, scored a lot of penalties, but I think he's a superb player. I think people are going to be very silly to sleep on Birmingham City, unfortunately. Southampton he's going to do great. Ipswich, I don't really know. I obviously know they've got Young. They brought Ashley Young in. I can't proclaim to knowing whether they've lost many players or not. So I don't know how their squad's faring up. But Kieran McKenna in the Championship, I was so surprised that Tottenham didn't go in for him or Brentford didn't go in for him when Frank went to Tottenham. So surprised. So I think he'll have another solid season. But going back on what I said earlier, such a strong season. Ruben Selles, the couple of jobs he kept Hull up, but he didn't exactly pull up trees. Granted, he didn't have a long time to do so. Did a fantastic job at Reading, was linked with the Watford job, and Wheels said we'd take him. So sticking him with a squad like Sheffield United's, surely he's only going to pull up some good results there. Coventry, I think they'll only continue what they did last season. I think they'll be in the playoffs. Norwich, Swansea. So I think it's going to be tough. But yeah, Southampton, Birmingham, Ipswich win the playoffs.
Nice. I've gone a little bit different, and I've thrown a team out there that no one's said so far to get promoted, and it'll be via for playoffs. So I've gone for Southampton and Ipswich to come top 2. And then the ones that you're probably all going to be falling off your chairs and laughing at is I've gone for Millwall to get promoted.
Oh, my word.
What?
I thought they played really well last season. They narrowly missed out on the last day of the season. They've strengthened their squad by adding Alfie Doherty to their team. I think that they, as like a random team to throw into the mix, why not? Let's just throw Millwall in there, and everyone can laugh at me at the end of the season when they get relegated. So I've gone for them. Let's go for the teams to go down now. I imagine all 4 of us have gone probably Sheffield Wednesday to go down.
Yeah.
Who did Caity pick to go up?
Sorry. She hasn't done it. I created this 2 minutes before we came on.
Sorry, my apologies.
No, that's all right. So yeah, all Sheffield Wednesday to go down. Joe, the other 2 teams that you're going to select to go down?
Yeah, mine are. I know you said Sheffield. So yeah, Sheffield Wednesday, Hull, and I'm gonna say Preston. I think. I do think it's between 3 that last spot. I think it's between Preston, Portsmouth, and Oxford. I think Portsmouth are in real danger this year. The players they've let go, their fans. Obviously, I live down this way. Their fans aren't happy with some of the outgoings over the last few weeks, and obviously there's still players rumoured to be leaving. Matt Ritchie being one who's obviously got a lot of experience, and the fans love him. Paddy Lane, obviously they let go to Reading. I think that was more because he probably wasn't guaranteed minutes. A lot of their fans are very surprised. Fans aren't really too sold on that Bianchi that they've just got from Swansea on loan for the season. And they've not really signed anyone that good. So I think their squad is not as good as what it was last year. So I see them being in real trouble. But yeah, I think Preston, but I do think it could go close between Portsmouth and Oxford as well.
I'm trying to think of 2 teams to go down. I've got one, but I'm trying to find that other one. So I'll come to Mike for the next one. He looks pretty confident on who he's going to go for. Cam's still looking at his screen, so I think he's maybe I'm in an hour in a little bit. Mike, who's the other 2 teams that you're going to go down with Sheffield Wednesday?
I think, like Joe said, I think there's going to be a little cluster that it could be Sheffield Wednesday, Hull, I think are goners. And I think Blackburn, I'll go for the last one. I think they're in real danger this season. I mean, Ishmael, we all know what his style of football's like. They've lost a lot of players. Funnily enough, a lot to Derby, obviously, following Eustace out the door. Losing Dolan was massive as well, because I think there were times where it looked like he might actually stay, and then he's obviously gone over to Espanyol. But as Joe said, I think Preston are in trouble. Daniel Jefferson's gone there, although he'll probably be firing on all cylinders, won't he? And he'll keep them up, scoring double figures. But yeah, that would be my final 3.
Okay, I'm going to go for Oxford and Blackburn to go down with Sheffield Wednesday. Cam, what about you?
Yeah, I'm exactly the same. I'm going to go Oxford and Blackburn. The reason I was looking at my phone, I was actually scrolling through the Oxford squad there and just looking through, and I'm thinking there is maybe one or 2 players in there that I would take at Watford. And I don't think I was looking at Brannigan and possibly Dembele, but
Goodrum.
Even with those 2, yeah, I do like him as well.
Pachetta as well?
Nah, no chance.
You're just a shit chat, Grealish. Shit chat, Grealish.
Yeah, their squad doesn't do it for me. If it is still Gary Rowett that they've got there, I'm not 100% sold on him either. And with Blackburn, I'm looking at their squad and I'm thinking, well, yeah, they've probably got too much in them to go down, but at the same time, there's so much going on there behind the scenes. You know, there's a lot of problems with the ownership, and I think Ishmael is going to be the first manager to be sacked this season. I was toying with putting Charlton in my bottom 3, but I really like the business they've done, especially Oluaf from Stockport. Really good striker. So, yeah, I'm going to go with Wednesday, Oxford and Blackburn to go down.
They did get Kelman in the end as well, didn't they?
Yeah, I'm not as keen on him, but I mean he scored a lot of goals, so you know they've got a lot of good strikers there.
It's a big year for him, though, isn't it? Obviously, the World Cup's in America next year, isn't it? So he's going to want to be.
Yeah.
He's going to want to be. He's going to want to stand out and put himself in at the front of the pecking order there for them. So he could have a good season at Charlton this year.
Yeah.
After the first game of the season, obviously.
Well, I think first game of the season is going to be his best one. I think the entire Charlton squad for that game are going to be like nothing you've ever seen before.
Let's hope not. Are we all predicting? We've all predicted it. Wrexham to stay up in the Championship and have a good season. They've obviously started to recruit well.
They've done some good business. Spent a lot of money as well.
I think they'll be top 10. I don't think they're going to.
Probably.
I don't think they'll get in the playoff. I'll be surprised if they get in the playoffs. But then, you know, the thing with them is as I said the other day, they're playing a bit of Football Manager, aren't they? A little bit with some of their signings, and again, they've got some money that they're probably. I don't know whether it's going to happen, but they wanted to sign Nathan Broadhead for $7.5 million from Ipswich. They were still looking. I read the other day they were still wanting Christian Eriksen on a free transfer if he's got no other club to go to come the end of the window. Obviously, he's a free transfer anyway, so he can come in any time. But if they sign Kiefer Moore as well, that they're rumoured to be getting for $2.5 million as well, then they can have a very good championship squad. So who knows? That's why it could be a real weird. I mean, you could be looking at, I don't know, a top 6 of maybe like, I don't know, Wrexham, Birmingham, Sheffield United and Coventry in May, which would just be mental. And if you take maybe Coventry out and chuck us in the mix, I mean, would you say that that's Watford's best chance of going up if you've got a top 6 of that?
Potentially.
Would you,
Who knows?
if it was Wrexham, Birmingham, Sheffield United, and Watford, would Watford get promoted out of that?
No.
I don't think so.
What, lose to Wrexham at Wembley?
But I don't think there's any outcome where we're getting promoted, I'm afraid.
I think Cam's just being honest.
Thanks for all your positivity this evening, Cam. I can't wait to see you at Vicarage Road.
I'm done with positivity.
Nah.
It gets us nowhere.
But yeah, no, thank you everyone for joining us tonight. That is all our predictions now for the 25-26 season. Before I go, I just want to pass it over to Mike very quickly. And I'm glad that you're actually wearing trousers tonight, Mike, because your camera flipped down a little bit there. So we actually got to see that you're not just wearing your top, just like through COVID, where you'd turn on the laptop, wouldn't bother getting dressed, and just do it all in your t-shirts. Thankfully, for the gods of everyone on YouTube, you're actually wearing trousers tonight.
No, that'd have been embarrassing, wouldn't it? I bought a new webcam and I just repositioned my laptop, forgetting that it's attached not very well, and it fell. So I was like, yeah, like you said, that could have been very embarrassing.
But thankfully, you've got trousers on. But yeah, the reason why I'm passing you over to Mike, obviously, people might have seen his tweets a couple of weeks ago. He's actually announced that he is stepping back from the Voice of Vic. So he won't be on week in, week out like he has done, with the dedication that he's put into it for over the last 5 years. As you all know, me and Mike started this all up during COVID, but it's got to a time now where Mike's has decided to step back, and we've all fully respected that. It won't be the end of Mike fully on the Voice of the Vic. He will still come on for like the big episodes like predictions or Christmas, the fun stuff that he really likes getting involved in. And who knows, we might have a special guest appearance from Mike during the season. And look, there will always be a spot for Mike to come back to the Voice of the Vic. And it's just a busy guy at the moment as well, and a reason why I want to pass it over to Mike. You've also got another podcast I want you to try and plug and try and get some more viewers on there. The floor's yours, Mike.
Yeah, no, you've summed it up perfectly there. I just think that this is probably the right time. I think I'd be lying if I was to say that the last couple of years I've thoroughly enjoyed it and I've been buzzing. I think obviously it goes hand in hand a lot with what's going off on the pitch as well. So it's not just me being like, oh, well, we've been crap, so I'm sodding off. There's a lot to factor in. I've had a lot going on as well. And yeah, as I say, I didn't want to keep coming on maybe when I've not felt like I can give 100%, because at the end of the day, we've been going around for 5 years. Whether people agree with what I'm about to say or not, the stats are there, the following's there. You don't carry on for 5 years if you're a crap podcast. So I didn't want to keep jumping on when I'm not feeling 100% and just churning out a load of rubbish. So I think that would have been massively unfair to you guys, because since we got all these other guys on board, Joe, Cam, Caity, it's really been a breath of fresh air, and it's made our lives a lot easier, because we were finding with just the two of us, if we missed a week, or especially with it being Tuesday, Saturday, we might be missing 2-3 games in a row because we're unavailable or we've got other things on. And everyone that knows that listens to podcasts, if you're listening to a podcast and you're enjoying it and then they suddenly disappear for 3 weeks, you're going to be like, well, what the hell, and lose interest. So yeah, like I said, think it's the right decision. As you've rightly said as well, it's not completely the end. I'll be on Christmas special. Who knows? If I've been to a game, I might pop on. But yeah, you can all breathe a sigh of relief. I won't be clogging up your screens regularly. But I have started another podcast as well. I'll be honest though, I made the decision before that podcast had even started. So my other podcast now, you might have seen it if you follow me on social media. It's called Chasing the Finish, and it's a running podcast. I do it with two of my good friends, Jake and Ben, who were groomsmen at my wedding. And yeah, we're 3 lads, different stages of our running journeys. You've got Ben, for example, who beat elite runners at a 10K event in Coventry in April, even though he's just, he's not an elite runner. And then you've got me, who sort of plods around at the back and usually gets beaten by 70-year-olds at parkruns. So, it's a wide range of abilities in the running world, and I think we're relatable. You get running podcasts sometimes that are just like, well, oh yeah, well, I had this for breakfast and I ran a sub 20 marathon and all this nonsense, where we're nice and relatable. So yeah, if running's your thing, then we're on all the social media channels other than X, and we're on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, etc. And Cam was meant to be on it last week, but his laptop wasn't working, so I'm sure he'll come on. And then Ben will be coming on as well. So there'll be a little chasing the finish, Voices of the Vic crossover sort of thing. So yeah, if that's your bag, then jump over and subscribe. That'd be great. But yeah, just want to thank everyone. That's when I put the tweet out, it got a lot more likes and comments than I thought. That's not why I was doing it. I just thought, let people know, because we've got a lot of people on social media who interact with us. So to get the responses that I did just shows how tight-knit the Watford community can be, even though at times it's very toxic. So if you're one of those that replied, thank you very much. But yeah, I've loved the 5 years. I really, really have. And it'll be weird sitting on the other end and watching you guys on the screen as opposed to me sitting here being part of it. So, but I know you guys will keep going strength to strength. I mean, the stuff that you're doing on TikTok at the moment, really taking off. Joe did a wonderful vlog for the Leyton Orient game, and I know we worked with Caity. We've putting that together. Ben, you've been putting the transfer news out and everything else. And there's been a couple of podcasts already. So you guys are smashing it. I think it's going to be a big year for you guys. So, and I'll be there cheering from Lincoln, the loudest. So, yeah, good luck, guys.
Oh, thank you very much, Mike, and thank you for your service and dedication and for starting this journey with me. It's been one hell of a journey, but like we said, it's not the end completely. You will see Mike pop up now and again. It's just not as frequent or regular like it was before, but he's still in our WhatsApp group. He's going to be involved with our chats over time, and I know he's always going to be someone I can lean on to help me out through the next coming seasons, and he's going to help me out with uploading bits and pieces as well, because I'm not very good with technical bits and pieces. So that's all under Mike's name, so that helps me out massively. But yeah, no, thank you, mate, for everything. It's been an absolute honour and pleasure, and yeah, we'll see what this season brings. But I fully recommend everyone checking out Mike's running podcast. It's absolutely fantastic. I think there's 6 episodes already, and like he says, Cam was meant to go on, but he was too busy playing Football Manager. We later discovered, because he said his laptop weren't working, but he's got some really good centre halves on his Football Manager. He kind of boasted earlier. Are you going to make an appearance soon, Cam, or are you going to help plug your brother's podcast?
Yeah, I'm planning to. I mean, I was going to go on a couple of weeks ago, wasn't I? But we thought it was best I do it after the half marathon I did recently. So wanted to go on the other day. Didn't have a laptop charger is the reason. And yeah, the laptop died, couldn't go on. Laptop actually nearly died while I was recording this, but thankfully caught it just in time. That would have been a disaster. But yeah, I'm sure I'll be on hopefully next time as soon as possible.
Well, we're running together in 2 weeks, is it? So I'm sure
a bit more than that, I think.
3 weeks today we're running together. So I'm sure he'll make an appearance.
Yeah.
Perfect. Right. I think that's it then. We'll probably leave it there. So yeah, that brings us to the end of our 25-26 season predictions. Thank you for sticking with us through the hope and the hot takes and wild guesses that might come back and haunt us in May. Big thanks to Cam, Joe, Caity, and Mike for your predictions and joining me tonight. And now it's over to you lot. Let us know your predictions in the comments or on social media, or just bookmark this episode and you can laugh at us later on in the season. If you're watching on YouTube, don't forget to hit that button. the subscribe button, the like buttons. They'll give you the notifications of the bell. Just give that a little tap. It's really helpful for the show to grow. So please make sure you do hit those buttons. And if you're listening on audio, drop us a review, preferably the 5 stars. We will take 4 stars, but that's if you're just being a little bit stingy. But we'll be back very soon for our first reaction of the season, of a new campaign, when Watford travel to the Valley on Saturday for 12:30 kickoff as we kick off our championship campaign. But until then, take care, enjoy the calm before the chaos, and as always, come on, you Horns.